Welcome to my new channel, my second channel. Today we're diving into the tragic and haunting story of Katie Poirier, a young woman whose life was cut short in a senseless act of violence. We'll explore the details of her abduction, the investigation that followed, and the impact her case had on the community and beyond. Join us as we remember Katie and discuss the importance of vigilance and justice in preventing such tragedies. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more true crime stories and updates. Let's get started. On May 26, 1999, 19-year-old Katie Poirier was abducted from a convenience store in Moose Lake, Minnesota. Surveillance footage showed her being forced out by a man later identified as Donald Blom. Witnesses reported seeing a black pickup truck and a suspicious man in the area. Blom was arrested after a tip from a former coworker and subsequent investigation. Donald Albin Blom, born Donald Albin Pence, was born on February 5th, 1949, and he was an American man convicted of the 99 murder of Katie Poirier. Blom, a registered SO, had a history of kidnapping and SA, leading investigators to suspect him of being a serial killer. He served his prison sentence at MCF Oak Park Heights, a maximum security facility in Stillwater, Minnesota, starting in 2021. Prior to that, he was held at MCF Faribault and SCI Green in Pennsylvania. Blom's troubled childhood included abuse from his father and behavioral issues that led to heavy drinking and reform school. His criminal activities began in 1975 with the kidnapping in R of a 14-year-old girl, followed by multiple assaults and kidnappings over the years. Despite a psychologist's warning in 1992, Blom managed to change his name, get a job, and marry. On September 8th, Donald Blom made a tearful confession that lasted 2.5 hours. He recounted the events of May 26, 1999, starting with a fishing trip and then driving home to Richfield. However, later that evening, he returned to his Moose Lake property. On the way, he stopped to purchase liquor and had a beer at a bar. Blom saw Katie Poirier in the store doing some chores. Although he did not know her, he made a grab for her, causing her to run outside. He followed her and forced her into his pickup truck. Blom then drove her out to his mobile home. Blom confessed, stating that he had choked Katie Poirier from behind, taking about 20 minutes to kill her. He didn't admit to any other assault. After she was dead, he placed her body in a fire pit and gathered wood and paper to burn it. Blom's account conflicted with evidence from the videotape and burn pit. He claimed to have walked out with her, hand on her arm or shoulder, but the videotape showed him with his hand on the back of her neck. He recalled her asking to be let go several times, but said she only fought him when he started choking her. His method of incinerating the remains was also questionable, as wood and paper alone wouldn't reach the necessary temperature to reduce a body to ash. Blom admitted that his actions made little sense to him. He confirmed that the remains in the fire pit were likely Poirier's, but couldn't definitively say so. When asked whose remains they were, he replied, "Well, I was asking that myself, man." After the interview, Blom called local TV stations to report his confession and requested privacy for his family, as if he deserved it. The plea deal returned seized property to Amy Blom, his wife, including the Moose Lake acreage, the Richfield home, and the family vehicle. Authorities did not confirm if Blom was a suspect in any other cases, and the plea deal did not include further statements from him. For the Poirier family, the confession was devastating, as they had hoped Katie was still alive. Blom's admission that she had murdered and cremated that she had been murdered and cremated shattered their hopes. The maroon and gold ribbons, once symbols of hope, became memorials for kidnapped victims like Katie. The family's sense of closure was fleeting. Searches of Blom's properties revealed bone fragments and a tooth, which were linked to Poirier. Blom confessed to the crime but later recanted, claiming stress and hallucinations. His trial in 2000 included testimonies from over 50 witnesses, including 2 women he had kidnapped in 1983. Despite his defense's efforts, Blom was convicted based on the evidence and witness testimonies. During his trial, Donald Blom denied owning a New York Yankees jersey with the number 23, as seen in the surveillance video. However, his brother testified that he had given the family a box of old clothes, including a Yankees jersey. 2 women whom Blom had kidnapped in 1983 and who resembled Katie Poirier as children testified about their experiences. Forensic odontologist Dr. Ann Norlander confirmed that the tooth found on Blom's property matched Poirier's age, gender, and dental work. Blom's barber testified that Blom had blonde tips in his hair at the time of the abduction, making him appear younger. Blom's defense attorney, Rodney Broden, called Blom's wife, Amy, as his first witness. She testified that Blom was home the night of Poirier's disappearance and accused the police of coercion. She denied seeing the Yankees jersey among the clothes given by Blom's brother. Broden argued that Blom's confession was a mistake and should be disregarded, suggesting another man had confessed to the crime. Blom angrily denied kidnapping Poirier and claimed he confessed under duress. He stated he was fishing at Moose Lake on the night of the abduction and returned home by 10 p.m. The prosecutor cross-examined Blom about his confession, but Blom provided only brief answers. Blom was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life without parole, along with a 19-year sentence for firearm possession. The case cost over $200,000, leading to the strengthening of Minnesota's SO laws, informally known as Katie's Law. Blom's appeals were unsuccessful, and his wife later revealed that Blom had abused her and their children. In 2006, Blom offered to provide information on unsolved crimes in exchange for a prison transfer, but no confession materialized. The Minnesota Supreme Court rejected his third petition for a new hearing in 2007. Investigators suspect that Donald Blom may have been involved in a series of murders dating back to the 1970s, often changing his name and appearance after each incident. Dennis Fear, an agent with the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, has long believed Blom to be a serial killer. Fear noted that Blom admitted to frequently leaving for entire nights using alcohol and drugs and not remembering his actions the next day. At the time of Blom's arrest, investigators were examining similar crimes, including the murder of a 19-year-old Wisconsin student, Holly Spangler, whose decomposed body was found in Bloomington, Minnesota in 1993. Blom, living in the area under the name Donald Pins, was a registered SO and a top suspect in the case. Another case involved the strangulation of Wilma Johnson, whose body was found near St. Paul Cathedral in 1983. Blom admitted to being at the crime scene but denied killing Johnson. He also told investigators he might have killed a man near St. Paul's High Bridge, though no body was ever found. Donald Blom died at the age of 73, January 10th, 2023. He served 23 years of a life sentence. It was stated that he was ill and the death was expected due to natural causes. I chose to cover this topic in particular because all that I knew about it up until the trial was what I had seen. And I was living down south at the time that it happened. I was 17 years old. 16 years old. And I would come up north to visit my father and my brother every summer and Christmas. And I saw the billboard with her. And I asked my brother and my dad, "Who is that? Who's Katie?" And they didn't tell me. They wouldn't say anything. They did, but it was very brief. Just, oh, she's a missing girl. And this happened very, very close to my neck of the woods. So it kind of hits home. And it's scary. It's scary to think about that you can be at your job where you should feel safe, and all of a sudden you're taken away. You're kidnapped. You're murdered. 19 years old. She was only 19. My heart goes out to the Poirier family. He was allowed the opportunity to marry and have children who he didn't even seem to care for. Honestly. She wasn't allowed that opportunity. She was 19. She was still a child. It's not fair. It's sick. And honestly, this case, from what I've noticed, has not been covered near enough. Near enough. It's devastating. And it's sick. And it's disturbing. Thank you for watching my video about Katie Poirier. Her story is a tragic reminder of the importance of community vigilance and the impact of crime on families and loved ones. If you found this video informative, please like, share, and subscribe for more content. Let's keep Katie's memory alive and continue to support efforts to prevent such tragedies in the future. Stay safe and take care. Thank you.